Pix 106, Quinn and Cantera on the phone with Paul Harding, 1-800-LAW-1010, 1-800-LAW-1010.com.
Paul, it was about this time yesterday we had a pretty heated, it wasn't heated, but we had a pretty in-depth discussion about what Massachusetts does with the bomber, the dead body of bomber number 1. Good morning, by the way.
Yeah, good morning to you. Yeah, right. Now, which side did you guys come down on this?
Well, I mean, look, luckily we don't have to take a side on this.
I thought we should, I don't care who pays for it.
Yeah.
I thought we should send it back to Russia where his father is.
And I'm saying that if they bury, serial murderers, Jeffrey Dahmers, or whenever they die, these bad guys that we have here, why not just bury this dude too? And what is the legal, legally, what do we have to do? Yeah,
U.S. citizen, he's going to be buried here. The issue really is this city manager from Cambridge, Massachusetts, came out and he said, we will refuse, or rather, if they ask us to bury him, we're going to refuse to issue a permit or sell a burial plot. So that's where the story kind of went. Would he have the ability to say no? And boy, there's just not a clear answer. There just isn't a clear answer. I mean, he can say no. They can refuse to do it if asked. And then the courts would have to consider it. There's really no precedent here denying someone the ability to be buried. I did find that if someone buys a burial plot and already has one purchased,
right,
that they can't refuse under that set of facts. But yeah, I guess they just don't want some kind of their town to have the remains, and then maybe some pilgrimages and some people going out to look, and they just didn't want that association.
But I mean, legally, though, if I have no family members, I have no money, and I die, what does the state of New York do with my body?
Yeah, no, they do. They put you in a pauper's grave, very quietly. They're around the state.
What's a pauper's grave? Like just a wooden box, or they just throw you in there?
No, they stick to the rules. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy, but it's it does what it needs to do in terms of protecting the remains and how that can decay can then get through the remains and into the ground. They have certain rules and thickness and all that stuff, but they'll pay for it. It won't be fancy. It's very quietly done, and in fact, they have them upstate New York, lots of them downstate New York. So if they do nothing with the body, the state of Massachusetts is going to have to figure it out. But the family, presumably, is going to want to do a little bit more than that. And they're just going to probably just have to go somewhere other than Cambridge, Massachusetts, and just see what happens.
I mean, I feel like no one in Massachusetts. I can't imagine anyone wanting them.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. So if I die totally alone, is that the same as if nobody claims my body?
I love talking about that.
Well, because what if his family says no one in his family says we don't want to claim his body? Is Massachusetts? Do they legally have to put him in a pauper's grave at that point?
They do.
They do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. They can then. There's no requirement that the family has to do anything. As a general proposition, it's what people do. They step it up. Now, if he has any assets, they can go after those assets to pay for this burial. But presumably, the folks who go that way tend to be short on the asset side also. So, yeah, it would be the responsibility of the state of Massachusetts if the family does nothing.
So this drama, for lack of a better word, the drama about this body is maybe just a part of the healing process that's going to blow over, and then he'll get buried. When we start forgetting about it.
Probably so. But it is definitely heating up, and there's nobody volunteering. Normally, when these things occur, there'll be somebody stepping up, even in bizarre circumstances, as this one could turn out to be. In terms of where he's buried, and as of today, there's no one that said, "Hey, come to our county. We're looking for some reason to get on the map here."
It's attorney Paul Harding from Martin Harding and Mazzotti, 1-800-LAW-1010 and 1-800-LAW-1010.com.
That's a crazy idea to have a little town want to be on the map. Bring them over to us.
It's not just on the map, but it's maybe there's a cemetery that wants the money. Like in all aspects of America, we pretty much assume that greed is good.
Yeah.
I'm making a buck. That's cool.
Right. People die every day, though. I don't know if there's like a lack of business.
Quickly, Paul. You don't have to weigh in, but opinion-wise, what do you think they should do? Massachusetts should do?
Well, I think what's going to happen is the family's going to find a place. Again, there's public and private cemeteries. The public cemetery is what we're talking about here, state money controlling this, and the city manager is saying no. I think they're going to find a private cemetery somewhere really off the beaten path with very little fanfare, and then the information will just probably come out later. Because at some point, some organization, whether it's going to be a Muslim or Christian or some, is going to say, listen, this body needs to be arrested,
Right.
and they're going to and they're going to allow it. They're not volunteering, but they're going to allow it. So I think that's going to happen. As you said earlier, I think it's just going to kind of go quietly into the sunset here. The story will just get real quiet.
Yeah, we appreciate your legal take on this, and thanks for spending time on the show this morning.
Oh,
Paul
my
Harding from
pleasure.
Martin Harding and Mazzotti.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
All right, take care, man.
Quinn and Cantera. Slicing the Righteous. Mornings on PYX 106.